How's it going, everybody? The Big Games Big Deal sale just started on PlayStation. It's running from now until May 6th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. For $3, 90% off, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate is a fast-paced action roguelike where you play as your favorite turtle, teaming up locally or online to save Master Splinter from the Foot Clan. You'll master each turtle's unique powers, experiment with elemental and ninja abilities, upgrade your skills, and tackle randomized biomes, room layouts, and fearsome bosses in both story missions and high-intensity arcade mode runs. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Star Wars Bounty Hunter is a third-person action-adventure that puts you in the boots of Jango Fett as he tracks down a dangerous dark Jedi across the galaxy's criminal underworld before the events of Episode 2. Playing the 1080p up-rendered PS2 classic, you'll take on acrobatic battles, utilize gadgets like dual blasters and a flamethrower, and hunt targets through spaceports and industrial strongholds. It's a 70 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Rad is a 3D action roguelike set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has already survived 2 separate Armageddons. Play as a teenage survivor venturing into the ever-changing radioactive fallow, battling grotesque creatures, exploring procedurally generated wastelands, and uncovering secrets, hidden caches, and dangerous mutated environments filled with traps, hazards, and unpredictable encounters. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Last Day of June is a cinematic narrative adventure where Carl relives memories and alters past events to prevent the tragic loss of his beloved June. Solve emotional, time-looping puzzles by changing key moments across different perspectives, explore a beautifully stylized world, and experience a heartfelt story driven by visual storytelling, a moving soundtrack, and deeply emotional character moments. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Sine Mora EX is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up where time itself is a weapon, blending classic arcade-style shooting action with a stunning modern presentation, cinematic flair, and beautifully detailed diesel punk-inspired visuals. Experience an over-the-top story mode with fully voiced characters in a challenging arcade mode, or team up locally in co-op for 2 players while mastering tight controls and unique time-based mechanics. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, YuGiOh Legacy of the Duelist lets you relive past dueling glory against iconic characters from across the Yu-Gi-Oh universe, spanning multiple series and generations of beloved anime. Build and customize your own deck from thousands of cards, compete against other players online, and test your skills further in Battle Pack Draft and Sealed Play for a deep, authentic, and endlessly replayable card game experience. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 85% off, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris and Season Pass Pack is an isometric action adventure that blends fast-paced combat, puzzle solving, and cooperative exploration in an ancient Egyptian setting with thrilling encounters. The Season Pass adds the Icy Death and Twisted Gears packs, introducing new tombs, enemies, relics, and challenges that expand the adventure with fresh mechanics and replay value. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3, 70% off, Virginia is a single-player, first-person narrative thriller that combines cinematic presentation, investigative storytelling, and atmospheric tension into a short but memorable experience. Play as FBI agent Ann Tarver as she investigates a missing person case in a quiet town filled with secrets, uncovering a story shaped by mystery, moral ambiguity, surreal twists, and a unique, wordless storytelling style inspired by film and television. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Metal Slug 3 is a classic 2D run-and-gun action shooter where players battle through 5 massive, branching stages to defeat General Morden and a new extraterrestrial threat. Featuring intricate pixel art, simple and intuitive controls, frantic combat, over-the-top explosions, and giant boss encounters, the game offers multiple paths and replayability for fans of fast-paced, arcade-style action. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Mayhem Brawler is an urban fantasy beat-em-up that revives the 90s arcade vibe with comic book-style visuals, a kick-ass soundtrack, and fast-paced, combo-driven combat you can tackle solo or in co-op. Play as super-powered officers Dolphin, Star, and Trouble as you respond to a routine call that quickly spirals into chaotic mayhem, battling street gangs, werewolves, and the sinister forces of a vampire-led megacorp. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Project Warlock is a retro-inspired, fast-paced first-person shooter where you play as a mysterious warlock on a mission to wipe out evil across time and space in a bloody, pixelated rampage. You'll blast through 60 sprawling levels set in diverse environments like icy Antarctic bases and ancient Egyptian ruins, hunting for keys, secrets, and hidden passages while leaving waves of enemies in a gory trail of destruction and chaos. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Fury Unleashed is a fast-paced roguelike where you blast through the pages of a living comic book, uncovering why your creator has lost faith and proving him wrong. Play solo or in local and online co-op through handcrafted levels, expanding your weaponry, unlocking permanent upgrades, and mastering a combo system that rewards high-speed play while facing 40 challenging bosses across diverse, dynamic environments. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, The Surge is a sci-fi action RPG set in a futuristic megacorporation where technology is turned deadly and survival depends on skill, strategy, and quick thinking, with relentless challenges at every turn. You battle rogue robots, deranged co-workers, and rogue AI in visceral, limb-targeting melee combat, exploiting weaknesses to harvest loot directly from your enemies and craft powerful new weapons and armor. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $4, 55% off, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain is a gothic action-adventure set in a vampire-ruled fantasy world steeped in murder, magic, and revenge, with a brooding tone and oppressive atmosphere. You play as Kain, exploring a vast open world filled with brutal combat, spellcasting, and meaningful moral choices, all driven by an engrossing narrative brought to life through cinema-quality voice acting and atmospheric presentation. It's an 82 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Trine 2 Complete Story is a stunning side-scrolling action-adventure that blends platforming, puzzles, and fantasy storytelling into a magical fairy tale journey full of wonder, danger, and clever challenges. You'll control Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya the Thief as they traverse breathtaking landscapes filled with physics-based puzzles, dangerous enemies, whimsical contraptions, and hidden secrets to discover. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $2, 85% off, Kona is a survival adventure game set in a remote, snow-covered northern Canadian village in 1970, where players assume the role of Detective Carl Faubert, investigating strange occurrences and dark secrets. Explore a hauntingly desolate environment, collect clues, solve puzzles, and endure harsh blizzards while experiencing a suspenseful story full of eerie encounters, unexpected twists, and tense atmosphere. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Super Star Wars is a classic action-adventure enhanced for PS4 with updated display, trophies, leaderboards, and new save features, bringing nostalgia with modern improvements. Step into the boots of Luke, Han, and Chewbacca as you battle the evil Empire across iconic locations, from the deserts of Tatooine to Mos Eisley, taking on aliens, stormtroopers, and high-speed vehicle sequences. It's an 83 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 50% off, Dino Crisis is a survival horror classic from Capcom where a covert mission to a remote research facility spirals into chaos after a supposedly dead scientist is found alive and deadly dinosaurs stalk the halls. As a highly trained special agent, navigate claustrophobic corridors filled with puzzles, keycard locks, and bloodthirsty prehistoric predators that strike with terrifying speed, forcing quick thinking and fast reactions. It's an 83 on Game Rankings, and there's unfortunately no trophy support yet. Hopefully we get it soon. For $5, 75% off, Fashion Police Squad is a humorous retro FPS where you fight fashion crime as Sergeant Dez, armed with weapons like the Belt of Justice and weaponized sock gnomes across the streets of Trendopolis. Each enemy requires the right fashion solution, so you'll need to switch weapons strategically, all while uncovering a fabulous story full of dazzling encounters, fierce runway shows, and the baddest bosses in the fashion industry. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $3, 50% off, Gleylancer is a beloved 16-bit space shooter originally released in 1992, putting you in control of a daring pilot who hijacks a prototype fighter to track down her missing father across the galaxy. Blast through waves of alien enemies, collect powerful upgrades, and choose between multiple ship formations to customize your firepower, while enjoying epic anime-style cutscenes, an engaging space opera storyline, and iconic retro graphics. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about an hour to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Sparklite is a top-down action-adventure set in the whimsical, ever-changing land of Geodia, where you battle foes using an inventive arsenal of gadgets, guns, and gear while exploring procedurally generated biomes. Take on the greedy Baron Mining Corp and their towering gremlin titans, befriend locals to help build the refuge, and even team up with Ada's robotic sidekick for local co-op action in a vibrant, pixel art world full of surprises. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Namco Museum Archives Volume 2 is a retro 8-bit arcade collection that lets you play 11 classic Namco titles, including some never released in the West. You play classics like Galaga, Dig Dug 2, and Pac-Land with modern conveniences like save points, replay functions, and adjustable settings, allowing you to experiment with strategies, practice tricky sections, and fully experience the nostalgia of the originals. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 70% off, Little Noah, Scion of Paradise is a roguelite action game where you journey through shifting dungeons, recruit over 40 unique Lilliputites to build customizable attack combos, and gather items to overcome bosses. Every run strengthens Noah, letting you repair and upgrade your crashed airship with collected mana to unlock permanent facilities and boosts that make each future expedition smoother and more rewarding. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Bioshock 2 Remastered is a gripping first-person action-adventure where you step into the armored frame of Subject Delta, a Big Daddy prototype, on a mission to rescue your missing little sister in the decayed underwater city of Rapture. You'll wield a wider array of plasmids, face new enemies, and navigate intricate Art Deco environments, all while evading the terrifying Big Sisters and surviving Rapture's cultist threats. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 90% off, Sherlock Holmes The Awakened is a Lovecraftian mystery adventure where players become Sherlock Holmes, investigating disappearances linked to a dark cult worshipping an ancient god. Explore locations from Baker Street to Swiss asylums and Louisiana wetlands, manage encroaching insanity, and unravel the expanded storyline in this remake of the 2008 title with modern graphics and new gameplay mechanics. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 85% off, Alan Wake Remastered is a cinematic action thriller where troubled author Alan Wake searches for his missing wife in Bright Falls, uncovering pages of a horror story he cannot remember writing. As supernatural darkness spreads, turning townspeople hostile, Wake must confront terrifying forces armed only with his flashlight and a handgun, navigating episodic chapters full of suspense, twist, and combat demanding strategy beyond bullets. It's an 84 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Firewatch is a narrative-driven adventure set in 1989 where you play as Henry, a man escaping his troubled life to work as a fire lookout in the Wyoming wilderness. As you explore stunning forests filled with hidden paths, breathtaking vistas, and subtle environmental storytelling, you communicate with your supervisor Delilah over a handheld radio, building a deeply human relationship. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 84% off, Ultra Street Fighter 4 is a legendary 2D fighter in the definitive version of Super Street Fighter 4, packing rebalanced mechanics, new stages, and additional Ultra combos. New challengers DeCapre, Elena, YuGiOh, Poison, and Rolento join the roster of returning favorites for a total of 44 characters, each with deep mechanics, unique movesets, and endless competitive depth that rewards mastery at every level. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Mark of the Ninja Remastered is a razor-sharp 2D stealth adventure where you use silence, precision, and careful planning to infiltrate enemy compounds and escape unseen. You'll stalk through shadowy corridors, scale walls, disable traps, and manipulate guards using tools, noise, and darkness, all while navigating beautifully hand-painted environments brought to life with fluid animation and crisp 4K remastering. It's a 91 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a first-person action adventure where you follow a daring freerunner as she fights for freedom in the sprawling, high-tech city of glass. Navigate shadowy tunnels and towering skyscrapers using fluid parkour, advanced combat, and environmental mastery to outmaneuver enemies and experience a thrilling story from Faith's perspective. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately a number of online trophies that can't be unlocked anymore, making the platinum unobtainable. For $5, 80% off, Moving Out is a chaotic, physics-based moving simulator where you join the Smooth Moves crew and haul furniture through suburban homes, haunted houses, and all sorts of wonderfully absurd environments. You'll lift, toss, and smash your way past obstacles as you race the clock, using momentum, teamwork, and creative problem-solving to wrangle everything from sofas to fragile appliances across increasingly wild moving jobs. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 70% off, Wizard of Legend is a fast-paced dungeon crawler that casts you as a powerful wizard battling through procedurally generated arenas while mastering dynamic spellcasting and elemental magic. Chain together over 100 unique spells, unleash devastating combos, and experiment with different elemental effects while dodging attacks and adapting your playstyle to survive chaotic battles in both solo and co-op runs. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Cat Quest 2 is a charming action RPG that expands the world of Felongard with a brand new story, explosive spells, and a playful co-op mechanic that lets you switch between a heroic cat and a loyal dog on an epic adventure. You explore colorful, open environments, tackle dungeons filled with traps, and complete side quests while combining new passive abilities and mastering a variety of weapons and magical attacks. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition is a vibrant Metroidvania-style action platformer set in a magical world inspired by Mexican culture and folklore, filled with fast-paced combat, clever puzzles, and whimsical charm. Master moves that double as both attacks and traversal, switch between the worlds of the living and the dead, and explore wild locations while facing a variety of foes and challenging bosses. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Indivisible is a beautifully hand-drawn action RPG platformer that combines stunning animation with unique real-time combat mechanics, set in a vibrant, fantastical world filled with dozens of recruitable characters and rich storytelling. You play as Ajna, a fearless girl whose life is turned upside down when a mysterious power awakens within her after an attack on her home, sending her on a journey across diverse lands to unite allies. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Just Cause 3 is an over-the-top open-world action game where you wreak havoc across a Mediterranean island paradise, using wingsuits, grapples, and parachutes to scale buildings, hijack vehicles, and unleash creative destruction. You'll engage in explosive combat with a massive arsenal of weapons, pilot jets, speedboats, and sports cars, and complete dozens of challenges and collectibles while toppling a ruthless dictator. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Don't Starve is a wilderness survival game with a Tim Burton-inspired art style, where scientist Wilson must endure a strange and hostile world to find his way safely back home. You'll gather resources to craft tools and science machines, manage hunger and sanity through brutal seasonal cycles, and survive deadly creatures like the Deerclops and shadow monsters lurking in the constant's unforgiving darkness. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3, 80% off, Broforce is an over-the-top run-and-gun platformer where an underfunded paramilitary team of explosive bros battles terrorists to save the world with extreme force and unrelenting patriotic fury. You'll play solo or in 4-player co-op, unleashing dozens of unique characters with signature weapons, destroying fully destructible terrain, and tackling both co-op missions and competitive deathmatch challenges. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, The Pedestrian is a charming puzzle game and textless journey where all ideas are communicated through icons and your powers of observation are put to the test. You play by rearranging and reconnecting public signs to explore and advance through each engaging environment, solving increasingly clever puzzles across a beautifully illustrated world full of hidden secrets and satisfying aha moments. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 80% off, Chorus is a space combat shooter that puts you in control of Lara, a pilot seeking to destroy the dark cult that created her, with the sentient starfighter Forsaken at her side. Unlock devastating weapons, mind-bending abilities, and powerful upgrades as you engage in exhilarating zero-G dogfights across sprawling space stations and strange planes of existence, blending frenetic combat with vast cosmic exploration. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 25% off, Vampire Survivors is an addictive roguelite where you mow down endless hordes of night creatures, auto-attacking as you focus on movement, positioning, and smart upgrade choices to survive until dawn. Each run lets you snowball through clever weapon synergies and permanent meta upgrades, transforming chaotic bullet hell swarms into hypnotic power fantasies packed with unlocks and absurd screen-filling destruction. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is a 2.5D action RPG that blends fast-paced combat and platforming with a heartfelt story about rebuilding a town and the bonds that form along the way in a beautifully crafted, vibrant world. Players venture into the mysterious rune barrows in search of treasure, materials, and ancient secrets, while helping locals recover from a devastating earthquake and rediscover their hope. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 80% off, Torchlight 2 is a fast, fun, and loot-filled action RPG set in a quirky world of bloodthirsty monsters, bountiful treasures, and sinister secrets. Choose from 4 distinct classes with robust skill trees and deep equipment variety, then adventure solo or with the 4 players online, exploring vast randomized areas with pets that fight by your side, transform with special consumables, or sell your loot while you keep adventuring. It's an 88 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 65 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, The Council is an episodic narrative adventure blending choice-driven storytelling, deep character progression, and high-stakes decisions into a tense, intrigue-filled experience. Step into the shoes of a secret society member in 1793, navigating a private island off England's coast where high-profile guests, including Napoleon and George Washington, gather, each hiding secrets and personal agendas that shape the story. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, Super Meat Boy is a brutally difficult precision platformer where you control an animated cube of meat determined to rescue his bandage-wrapped girlfriend from an evil fetus in a jar wearing a tux. Leap across deadly saw blades, scale tight wall jump corridors, and survive hundreds of brutally designed levels, while tackling punishing bosses and pushing your reflexes to the limit across hospitals, salt factories, and even hell itself. It's a 90 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham is a family-friendly action adventure where Batman teams up with DC heroes and villains to travel across the universe and stop the villainous Brainiac from shrinking entire worlds. Switching between a huge roster of heroes and villains, players explore a variety of LEGO-built lantern worlds and use unique powers granted by the Lantern Rings to overcome obstacles and unlock secret areas. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Neon Abyss is a roguelike action platformer combining run-and-gun chaos, evolving dungeons, and unlimited item synergies into a fast-paced, replayable adventure full of deadly enemies and surprises. Join the Grim Squad, a task force assembled by Hades, as you infiltrate the Abyss to defeat the new gods, with every death empowering you further, in each run reshaping dungeons, items, bosses, and possible endings. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Invisible Inc. is a tactical espionage game where you command elite agents to infiltrate the world's most dangerous corporations, relying on stealth, precision, and teamwork to survive high-stakes missions. Start with any of the 10 unlockable agents and 10 programs to crack corporate security, while navigating tense procedurally generated worlds where locations, threats, security systems, and loot change every playthrough. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $5, 82% off, Children of Morta Complete Edition is a story-driven action RPG with roguelite progression, following the Bergson family as they battle a spreading corruption through procedurally generated dungeons, all framed by emotional narration. The Complete Edition adds Family Trials mode, New Game Plus, extra characters, plus DLC features and quality of life improvements, with local co-op enhancing replayability and teamwork. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Star Wars Racer Revenge is a high-speed racing game where you pilot pod racers at blistering speeds across 5 worlds, fighting to claim victory in the legendary Bunta Eve Classic. Race against 18 aggressive opponents with supercharged AI, smash rivals in a twisted wreckage, and navigate 13 hair-raising courses while mastering tight controls, intense boosts, and hazardous terrain in a galaxy far, far away. It's a 76 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2, 85% off, Deadlight Director's Cut is a cinematic 2.5D survival platformer set in a bleak, post-apocalyptic 1986, where a zombie outbreak has devastated Seattle and completely shattered human society. You play as Randall Wayne, navigating ruined cityscapes through tense platforming, environmental puzzles, and scarce resource survival encounters that reward patience, timing, and careful stealth over direct combat. It's an 83 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 75% off, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter is the 1080p up-rendered PS2 classic, where Jedi Council member Adi Gallia takes flight to investigate disturbances in the Carthax system as the events of Episode 2 approach. Pilot over 40 craft across 20-plus planetary and deep space missions, unleashing force powers like lightning, shields, and shockwave, with co-op available for all missions and additional 2-player modes. It's an 82 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 75% off, Victor Vran is an action RPG that puts you in the shoes of a demon hunter on a mission to liberate the cursed city of Zagrovia, blending fast-paced combat with deep character customization and loot-driven progression. Equip an arsenal of powerful weapons, game-changing outfits, and fate-binding destiny cards, while mastering dynamic combat that lets you dodge, leap, and chain attacks against hordes of demons and cunning bosses. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 85 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Trine Enchanted Edition is a fantasy action platformer that tells the origin story of Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya the Thief, as they're bound together by the magical artifact known as Trine. Journey through 15 fairy tale levels using physics-based puzzle solving, character-swapping mechanics that blend magic, swordplay, and archery, and drop in local or online co-op that lets 3 players combine abilities. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Wizard with a Gun is an online sandbox survival game for 1 to 4 players, where you explore a fractured magical wilderness, craft enchanted weapons, and outfit your wizard while navigating dangerous creatures and arcane mysteries. With fully customizable magical weapons and systemic spell experimentation that can lead to either powerful creations or catastrophic mishaps, it delivers a chaotic and creative multiplayer experience. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, The Deadly Tower of Monsters is a campy B-movie action game where Dick Starspeed crash lands on Gravoria and must fight through dinosaurs, giant ants, and costumed stuntmen to climb the deadly tower. Armed with ray guns, crystal swords, and laser whips, you'll play through cheesy sci-fi exploits alongside Scarlet Nova and Robot, complete with stop-motion effects, elaborate costumes, and a laugh-a-minute director's commentary throughout. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, God's Trigger is a fast-paced, top-down action shooter where an angel and a demon join forces to prevent the apocalypse in chaotic, visually striking arenas filled with destructible environments and enemy hordes. Play solo or in co-op, dodging attacks and wielding a vast arsenal of guns, melee weapons, and unique abilities to annihilate foes in over-the-top, stylish combat that rewards speed, precision, and creativity. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, The Bit Trip is a collection of all 6 games from the acclaimed Bit Trip series, including Bit Trip Runner, the first auto-running rhythm platformer on Earth. You'll navigate challenging levels synced to catchy, retro-inspired music, reacting with precise timing to obstacles and enemies, while feeling the satisfaction of mastering rhythm-based gameplay and chasing perfect scores across all 6 punishing games. It's a 79 average on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Minute of Islands is a narrative puzzle platformer where you explore strange islands and dark labyrinths below, guiding young mechanic Mo through handcrafted environments to repair a world on the brink of collapse. You wield the Omni Switch to solve environmental puzzles, navigate platforming challenges, and overcome the secrets of the island's hidden machines while restoring ancient devices across the archipelago. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Monster Prom XXL is a quirky, competitive dating sim where you and up to 3 friends navigate a high school full of love-struck monsters, aiming to win the heart of your chosen prom date before time runs out. You'll experience hundreds of branching events, uncover secret endings, and collect unique items while juggling romantic rivalries, making choices that impact relationships, popularity, and your path to prom glory. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Relicta is a first-person physics-based puzzle game where you manipulate gravity and magnetism to uncover the secrets of Chandra Base, a derelict lunar facility full of hazards, hidden areas, and anomalies. Step into the role of a stranded physicist, using problem-solving to navigate complex environments, solve challenging puzzles, and uncover truths that could save your child's life while potentially altering humanity's future. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Nowhere Prophet is a roguelike card game set on a distant planet after a catastrophic technological collapse, where you lead a desperate convoy of outcasts across procedurally generated wastelands toward a mysterious sanctuary called the Crypt. Manage resources, make moral decisions, and engage in turn-based card combat against slavers and rogue machines, knowing that permadeath makes every loss permanent. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $2, 60% off, Downwell is a vertically scrolling action game where a young adventurer descends a mysterious well armed only with his gun boots to fight enemies, dodge traps, and navigate deadly hazards. You leap, shoot, and bounce through procedurally generated levels filled with dangerous creatures, hidden treasures, and escalating challenges, using skill, timing, and strategy to survive deeper and deeper into the darkness. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $3, 65% off, Another World 20th Anniversary Edition is a platform action-adventure where young scientist Lester is hurled through time and space after a nuclear experiment goes wrong and is forced to fight for survival on a dangerous alien world. You solve puzzles, avoid hazards, and explore alien environments, while switching between original and full HD graphics and choosing from multiple soundtrack options. It's an 81 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $1, 80% off, Evan's Remains is a mystery thriller puzzle adventure that follows Dissis as she searches for a missing boy, Evan, on a remote Pacific island, slowly uncovering the strange circumstances surrounding his disappearance. Solve logic-based platform puzzles, explore the island, and piece together the story inspired by Japanese graphic adventure games as Dissis follows Evan's cryptic letter and discovers the truth behind his absence. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Through the Darkest of Times is a historical resistance strategy game set in 1933 Berlin, where you lead a small group of ordinary people opposing the Nazi regime through leafletting, sabotage, recruitment, and covert operations. Your group won't change the outcome of the war, but every decision carries real weight as you fight to save lives, oppose fascism, and keep your members alive across 4 somber, beautifully illustrated chapters. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Rainbow Moon is a charming RPG where you explore a vibrant fantasy world, fight deadly creatures in turn-based battles, and visit towns to shop for new equipment, upgrades, and skills. With 6 playable characters, deep progression systems, a sprawling world packed with side quests and secrets, and hundreds of enemies to defeat, it offers a relaxed yet rewarding role-playing experience that will keep you busy for dozens of hours. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $4, 40% off, Harvest Moon Back to Nature is a charming life simulation RPG where you return to your grandfather's neglected farm to restore it, tend livestock, grow crops, and rekindle childhood memories while interacting with over 50 villagers. You'll engage in real-time gameplay, participate in seasonal festivals and mini-contests, upgrade your home and kitchen, and explore relationships with townspeople as you uncover the story of a girl from your past. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately no trophy support for this yet. For $5, 65% off, The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker is a Lovecraftian FMV murder mystery where you play as a psychiatrist treating the unusual patients of a recently deceased doctor while trying to uncover his killer. Type your own questions or choose from suggested prompts across over 1,600 HD video responses, with a randomly generated murderer each playthrough, multiple endings, and choices that determine the fate of your patients and yourself. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, A Juggler's Tale is a puzzle platformer where you guide a marionette through a grim yet enchanting medieval fairy tale world as she flees captivity in search of hard-earned freedom. You'll navigate environments shaped by your puppet strings, solving traversal challenges, slipping past bandits and deadly traps, and pushing through war-torn villages where danger and desperation hang heavy in the air. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 70% off, Gimmick Special Edition is a challenging physics-based platformer, bringing Sunsoft's NES Classic into the modern era with online leaderboards, trophies, time attack, save and quick load, and a rewind function. You'll control Yumataro, a star-summoning yokai, navigating intricate levels, solving platforming puzzles, and reaching hidden areas, while outwitting tough enemies in precise gameplay that rewards creativity and skill. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $4, 75% off, Heart and Slash is a 3D brawler roguelike where you play as Heart, a sentient robot fighting to escape the clutches of the all-seeing machine Quasi in a bleak world where only machines remain. Every death is permanent, sending you back through a new randomly generated level with a fresh set of weapons, items, and enemies, demanding constant adaptation and quick thinking rather than mastery of a single system. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, Wolverblade is a hardcore side-scrolling beat-em-up inspired by classics like Golden Axe and Knights of the Round, where you help Britannia repel the Roman invasion across 8 historically accurate campaign levels with rich, fully illustrated 2D scenery. Master retro-inspired combat with modern enhancements, take on challenging arenas, and bring a friend along in local 2-player co-op to show the 9th Legion what you're made of. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Hard West Ultimate Edition is a dark, supernatural turn-based strategy game set in a twisted Wild West, where vengeance, chaos, and dark magic reign. Follow Warren on his descent into the darkest corners of the human soul, battling through 8 story-driven scenarios and 40 meticulously designed turn-based fights, making brutal decisions that shape his fate and testing your tactical skill in every encounter. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Pato Box is a surreal adventure fighting game inspired by Punch-Out, where you play as a duck boxer fighting through an evil corporation in search of retribution and the truth behind those who took your dream away. Explore thrilling 3D environments with a distinctive graphic novel art style and story mode, take on fast-paced 2D boss fights that test your reflexes to the limit, or blitz through all the bosses in arcade mode. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Rock of Ages 2 Bigger and Bolder is a gloriously surreal tower defense game where you send giant boulders crashing through historical and artistic ages, flattening obstacles and defenses to smash your opponent's gate before they smash yours. Powered by Unreal Engine 4 with improved graphics, physics, and destructibility, the game cranks up the chaos with new time periods and a frantic 2v2 multiplayer mode. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $2, 90% off, the Count Lucanor is a charming yet eerie adventure game following Hans, a poor boy who wanders into the woods on his birthday and stumbles upon a mysterious castle where a kobold offers him great wealth if he can guess its name. Trapped inside with no way out, Hans must navigate a spooky mix of mystery, fantasy, and horror to uncover the kobold's secret and claim his destiny as the new Count Lucanor. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Candle, The Power of the Flame is a tense adventure puzzle game where young novice Teku must navigate deadly traps, intricate obstacles, and treacherous environments to rescue his tribe's shaman. You'll solve complex environmental puzzles, carefully timing movements, observing subtle cues, and using your surroundings to survive, with each misstep potentially leading to failure in beautifully handcrafted atmospheric levels. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, Kaiju Wars is a tactical strategy game where players act as the mayor of Flotio City, defending against kaiju attacks while managing limited military resources. Players build sacrificial bases, deploy experimental weapons, and command upgradable ace units across missions worldwide, while navigating tactical puzzles, large-scale defense scenarios, and a narrative-driven campaign with choices. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $2, 80% off, Bulb Boy is an award-winning horror adventure inspired by Machinarium and goblins, following a young boy with a glowing bulb for a head who wakes one gloomy night to find his home overrun by horrid monsters and his family missing. Solve twisted puzzles, defeat wicked creatures, and uncover Bulb Boy's unique abilities as you fight to rescue your Grandpa Raffin and Moth Dog from the darkness. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $3, 70% off, Stories Untold is a narrative-driven experimental adventure anthology combining text adventure, point-and-click, and genre-defying gameplay across 4 mysterious stories. Explore 80s-inspired retro settings, solve mind-bending puzzles, and interact with bizarre artifacts while experiencing tense psychological horror, a synthwave soundtrack, and unique storytelling that blends mystery, sci-fi, and suspense. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $4, 55% off, Summoner is a classic fantasy RPG about Joseph, a young man marked with the power to summon powerful creatures but haunted by the destruction his abilities once caused. Spanning 2 continents across the world of Mediva, the adventure features party-based exploration, tactical battles with summoned creatures like minotaurs and dragons, and character progression through spells, weapons, and armor. It's a 71 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 80% off, The Escapists Supermax Edition is a definitive prison escape simulation bundle, including the original game and all premium content. Master daily routines, plan clever strategies, and execute daring escapes while navigating increasingly challenging prisons, from high-security facilities to themed special locations, using crafting and social manipulation to outsmart guards, unlock secret routes, and complete unique objectives. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $4, 70% off, Door Kickers Action Squad is a frenetic, old-school side-scrolling action game where you play as a SWAT trooper kicking down doors and taking out bad guys across 84 non-linear levels in Nowhere City, USA. Choose from 6 unique characters, master weapon recoil and cover mechanics, unleash strategic abilities and devastating ultimates, and tackle endless tower and zombie invasion mode solo or with a friend in couch or online co-op. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $3, 90% off, Mr. Driller Drill Land is a colorful action puzzle game set in a whimsical underground amusement park filled with quirky attractions and hidden secrets. You dig through collapsing blocks across 5 themed attractions, each introducing unique rules, escalating hazards, and clever obstacles that test planning, speed, and precision while encouraging quick thinking and adaptability. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $3, 70% off, Yars Recharged is a thrilling arcade shoot-'em-up where you lead attacks against the enemy homeworld, dodging deadly mechanical hives, swirling missiles, and cannon fire. Charge your Zorlon cannon for massive golden blasts while shooting from cover and darting forward to nibble away at enemy defenses, mastering precision timing, strategic positioning, quick reflexes, and tactical movement. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $2, 75% off, One Finger Death Punch 2 is a fast-paced, 2-button brawler where style, precision, and timing combine in relentless kung fu combat against waves of enemies, turning every fight into a cinematic spectacle. Attack left or right, chain together over 26 unique skills, and unleash devastating flurries with over 1,000 possible animations while facing increasingly challenging enemies across a variety of dynamic arenas. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $3, 80% off, Worms Rumble is a frantic real-time arena shooter where 32 players clash in chaotic, cross-platform battles, ditching turn-based combat for non-stop action. Blast foes with classic weapons like the bazooka, shotgun, and sheep launcher, master new tools such as the plasma blaster and rocket shield, and customize your worm, while tackling seasonal events and experimenting with inventive strategies in the lab. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $3, 70% off, Wall World is a mining roguelite tower defense where you pilot a heavily armed robo-spider across a mysterious vertical world filled with hidden resources, exotic biomes, and deadly monsters. Mine procedurally generated tunnels for resources and technologies, upgrade your exosuit and robo-spider for deeper exploration and combat, and build automated turrets and repair stations to survive increasingly dangerous attacks. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $2, 50% off, Shushimi is a randomized shoot-'em-up about a muscle-bound fish with memory problems, where combat waves and upgrade cycles last just 10 seconds each, demanding fast reflexes and snap decisions. Battle through 6 bosses, choose from 5 upgradable weapons, collect over 30 upgrades and hats, some unlocking hidden gameplay-modifying attributes, all in frantic local co-op or solo chaos. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 30% off, Achilles Survivor is a survivor roguelike set in a mythological version of ancient Greece where each run contributes to an ever-growing legend shaped by adaptation and long-term mastery. You battle relentless waves of enemies using evolving powers, construct tactical structures during combat, and constantly adjust your strategy as difficulty escalates through regions packed with elite foes and punishing bosses. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $1, 90% off, In Between is a surreal puzzle platformer that explores the mind of a man confronting a cruel twist of fate, guiding him through a mysterious world that defies physics, logic, and expectation. Solve over 60 inventive puzzles, master timing and agility, and uncover new mechanics as you progress through stages reflecting the protagonist's memories, emotions, and struggle to come to terms with mortality. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 50% off, Hotline Miami is a fast-paced top-down action game set in a violent, surreal version of late 1980s Miami drenched in neon, paranoia, and chaotic energy. You clear rooms using lethal gunplay, brutal melee combat, and environmental improvisation, while piecing together a fractured narrative delivered through cryptic phone messages, hidden clues, and unsettling imagery that gradually reveals the city's dark underbelly. It's an 86 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 70% off, Dragon Blaze is a fast-paced, vertical-scrolling Psycho fantasy shooter where you command a powerful dragon and its rider, battling waves of enemies in eerie, detailed environments while chasing high scores. Unleash normal shots, bombs, magic attacks, and the signature close-range dragon shot, timing its release to trigger bonuses and alter magic effects while facing intense enemy patterns and massive bosses. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 75% off, Before We Leave is a peaceful city-building game where you rediscover lost knowledge and rebuild a thriving civilization across islands, continents, and planets at a relaxed, self-directed pace. Manage resources, expand settlements, establish production chains, research ancient technologies, and trade goods, while balancing happiness, pollution, and long-term sustainability as your society grows and explores new territories. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5, 50% off, Speed Crew is a chaotic cooperative party game where 1 to 4 players take on the role of an elite pit crew, diagnosing car issues, making repairs, and navigating hazard-filled pit lanes across 4 racing championships spanning the 70s to the 2000s. With 48 levels, local online multiplayer, stylized retro 3D graphics, and a decade-appropriate custom soundtrack, it's a fast and frantic good time for players of all ages. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $3, 75% off, Aspire, Ina's Tale is a mystical side-scrolling adventure where Ina awakens from a magical slumber and must explore the tower to uncover the truth behind her mysterious imprisonment. Players traverse sprawling chambers, solve intuitive puzzles, and use spirit-based powers while encountering enigmatic characters, platforming challenges, and hidden secrets that reveal the tower's mysteries and cleverly reshape reality. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $3, 85% off, Gimmick 2 is a charming platformer that brings back the green little yokai Yumataro for a new adventure full of hidden treasures, challenging enemies, and inventive puzzles across varied, imaginative worlds. Use Yumataro's signature star, which bounces and carries momentum, to activate switches, defend against foes, ride to hard-to-reach places, uncover secrets, and set speed records, experimenting with its physics to master each level. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $2, 90% off, Sublevel Zero Redux is a first-person roguelike 6 Degree of Freedom shooter set in a universe on the brink of collapse, where you pilot a gunship on a mission to loot, craft, and master ancient technology. Descend into procedurally generated zero-gravity environments, facing relentless enemies and scavenging rare resources as you gather the tools your clan needs to survive. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $4, 80% off, Rogue Book is a roguelike deck builder where you assemble a team of 2 heroes and fight through a magical book that reshapes itself, shifts layouts, and evolves unpredictably every time you open it. You build your deck mid-run, combine hero abilities, and adapt to constantly shifting encounters using cards, relics, and gems that reward synergy, strategic planning, and creative thinking for maximum effect. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately a broken trophy making the platinum currently unobtainable. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.